In this video, I'm going to give you 29 creative ideas to help you fundraise for a mission trip. Maybe you're a student going on a mission trip with your youth group, or maybe you're a youth pastor trying to figure out how to help your students fundraise. What we've done is created these 29 fundraising ideas for you to help you reach the goal and answer the call the Lord has put on your life. So let's get started. Idea number 1 is to host a spaghetti dinner. To be honest, it doesn't even have to be spaghetti. Spaghetti is just a super cost-effective meal, and it doesn't even have to be dinner, actually. Growing up, my youth group did this, and we did a potato lunch after church. Actually, doing it as a lunch after church was able to provide opportunity for even more people to come because they didn't really have to go out of their way. They just came right after the service. And so if you can do that, that's super beneficial. If you can't do that at church, that's completely fine. Maybe find somebody's backyard or somebody's house you can do that and see if that'll work for you. I recommend making this donation-based because if you limit it to like $1 a person, people who could give a lot more than $1 might feel limited to only give $1. If you feel more comfortable, you can make it donation-based and then have a minimum donation, like, hey, you have to pay $2 per person or something like that. That can kind of help give some accountability so people aren't giving 50 cents. But that doesn't tend to happen often. Idea number 2 is to have a dessert auction. This idea potentially has no overhead costs, so it's super beneficial. Try to have it at church, maybe around a time where people are already there, like a members meeting or a Wednesday night service, or maybe even a Sunday morning. Ask members of your church to donate desserts to the auction. This way, you don't, one, have to pay for a ton of dessert, but also it gives people buy-in to want their desserts to be sold and want to buy other people's desserts. In my experience, it's usually not hard to find people inside of the church who love baking and want to help in that way. Idea number 3 is to have a yard sale. Similar to the dessert auction, you'll try to find people who are willing to donate things to be sold at the yard sale. That way you don't have to just buy a ton of stuff or sell all of your things. And just to be completely honest, this one requires a decent amount of work, so it'll take a lot of time to coordinate all of those things. But there's potential to raise a decent amount of money to go towards your trip. Idea number 4 is to have a silent auction. This could even be combined with your dessert auction or bake sale, but basically the idea of a silent auction is to where you have things laid out on the table and people write down the amount they bid on it. The highest amount wins, obviously. Ask people to donate things. This can be gift card, this can be services, this can be gift certificates, or tangible items. I know that can be intimidating, but I think you'd really be surprised what people would donate to this type of auction. It's for a different cause, but I remember having a group of students that I worked with having somebody donate an old car to them. Like I said, you'd be surprised what people will donate. Idea number 5 is to have a basket auction. So come up with those categories of different types of baskets. So like a barbecue basket where everything in it is barbecue themed, maybe a coffee basket where everything in it is coffee themed, stuff like that. And then ask people to make each of these baskets and donate them to the auction. This can be done in silent auction form or maybe a traditional auction form, whatever works best for getting the most people there to potentially purchase one of the baskets. Idea number 6 is to host a pancake breakfast. This is pretty similar to spaghetti dinner. Maybe you do it before service though, or to be honest, maybe you do a pancake dinner and just combine the ideas. Whatever works best for the context in which you're in. Idea number 7 is to sell bracelets. You can have those little silicone bracelets made nowadays for super cheap, and you can have them say really whatever you want. You can have them say hashtag pray for Tyler, hashtag pray for Asia, something along those lines, and then people can donate to your trip and you give this to them, or you sell them the bracelet for $1 plus donations, something like that. Then you can have this be something people get whenever they donate to your trip, or you can sell them for donations. Not only that, but it reminds people to pray for you on your trip and whatever the Lord's calling you to do. Idea number 8 is Sunday morning coffee. Nowadays, coffee is super popular. I love coffee myself. And a lot of Christians seem to like coffee as well. That seems to go hand in hand a lot of times. Churches usually have coffee, but I feel like it's notoriously pretty bad coffee. So what you can do, maybe on a Sunday morning, you can set up a booth and hand make coffee and sell it for maybe $5 a cup, or you can do it by donation, tips, things like that. To be honest, chances are there's somebody you know in your church who either loves coffee and could do it, or maybe they actually have barista experience and could do it for you as well. I know for sure if somebody was making coffee on Sunday morning, I would at least buy 1 cup, if not more. Idea number 9 is church cookbooks. So reach out to some people and then have them give you some of their favorite recipes. It can be one or it can be multiple, and then put them all together in one cookbook and then sell the cookbook. This can be for a set price or donation based. So you'll have to be a little careful with the cost of expenses here because it could probably add up pretty fast. Idea number 10 is t-shirt sales. This idea is super similar to bracelet idea, but it's a little more expensive. So I would recommend definitely having set price for these shirts. Have the shirt say something that reminds people to pray for you and or the place you're going to serve. Idea number 11 is parents' night out. If you're a student, you'll definitely need help from staff members for this idea. My youth group did this growing up, and we had probably 40 kids that were dropped off, and it was very beneficial for us. Basically, you're babysitting all the kids and letting them do a movie night and things like that at the church while the parents get to have a date night. Most of the time, it's donation based, so whatever the parents are comfortable and able to give, they'll donate. Idea number 12 is to have a car wash. Take a Saturday and offer free car washes in the church parking lot. When people pull up to get their car washed, share with them that you're raising money for a mission trip and that you're accepting donations. This is a pretty common idea for people trying to raise money for mission trips, but I've also seen a lot of sports teams do it, to be honest. Get somebody to stand by the road with a huge sign that says free car wash or $1 car wash or something like that to kind of draw attention. Idea number 13 is to take family photos. Think of the people in your church and see if you can think of somebody who's a photographer. And then from there, there's two ways you can go. One is you can see if they'd be willing to donate their time and talents to take pictures of families at church, whether that's at a backdrop or maybe that's outside or something like that. Two is you can see if they're willing to let you use their gear to be able to take family photos of people on a backdrop. I would say make these donation based. So basically you have to donate to get your family photos taken. Idea number 14 is to teach a class. This idea is also going to be donation based, most likely, unless it's somebody who already does this for a living and charges a specific amount. You can host this at their church, but basically maybe you know a financial advisor who could teach a class on finances that's for a price or donation based, or maybe you know an artist that could teach a painting class, something like that to kind of get people there and interested in what you're doing. And then you can profit from it. Make sure if you're not the one teaching, whoever is teaching, it's okay to not take profit from this. Idea number 15 is to mow lawns. This could be mowing lawns or really just general yard work. And there's a couple ways you can go about it. One is you can talk to people in your church, let them know you're raising money for your trip and offer to mow their lawn. The second is you could go door to door or walk around your neighborhood and see the yards that need to be mowed, knock on the door and offer to mow their yard for $20. Or tell them about your mission trip and see if they'll donate so you can mow their yard. Idea number 16 is babysitting. My wife grew up babysitting a lot. Reach out to people in your church, tell them you're trying to raise money for your mission trip and see if they'll let you babysit so that they can give to your mission trip. Idea number 17 is dog sitting. So you could get the word out in a similar way you would to babysitting, and this idea can potentially be super profitable. When I was growing up, my brother did this to raise money for a trip and he made a lot of money. Idea number 18 is cleaning. Reach out to people in your church, share with them about how you're raising money for their mission trip and you're trying to maybe clean houses or clean cars to raise money for the trip. This hopefully will encourage them to want to hire you to come and clean their house or detail their car. Idea number 19 is raking leaves. Now this obviously depends on the time of year which you're fundraising, but there's a lot of potential here. And you could do it in a pretty similar way you did mowing the lawn. You could either ask people if you can rake their leaves, or you can go door to door in your neighborhood and offer to rake people's leaves for a set amount. Whenever you're going door to door, I definitely go with a set amount. I would still encourage you to share about why you're doing this and how you're going to raise money, but keep that set amount there because you don't know if people are going to care to donate or not when you're going door to door. Idea number 20 is to host a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. Okay, this could be a lot of work, but if you have a bigger youth group, it really might not be too bad. So there's an entry fee to get into the tournament, then there's probably some sort of first place prize, but if you have enough teams, this might be pretty easy to do. Worst case too, you can go to the local schools and sports teams and tell them about the opportunity and how much money there is to win. Idea number 21 is a chili cook-off. Again, try to have this at church, maybe sometime around when people are already there, like a members meeting or a Wednesday night service, something like that. This will draw people to be there. You could even have people have to pay to enter and bid on the chili afterwards. That could kind of help you fundraise a little bit more as opposed to just charging an entry fee. Idea number 22 is to have a bake sale. This is similar to the dessert auction, but this time what you can do is you can either sell the desserts for a fixed price or just make it they have to donate to get the dessert. I know at the church I'm at now, one year they had a bake sale and then we had to switch to a dessert auction because people wanted all the same things. Idea number 23 is to have a raffle. It's definitely possible to do this without spending much money at all. Get people to donate a few things that you can raffle off. Maybe you have a photographer who'd be willing to donate taking pictures of a family. Maybe you have somebody who owns a business who could donate gift cards, things like that. Idea number 24 is to have a movie night. If your church is similar to the way mine was growing up, there's a strong chance that somewhere in a closet there's a sort of old but sort of still usable projector lying around. So you could take this outside, set up go buy a huge white curtain, and then charge people an entry fee. This could be a cool Sunday night event for the church when the weather's really nice to watch a family-friendly movie together. You could even charge extra for things like concessions and things like that if your church already has that on hand. Idea number 25 is the pick a number idea. So you could create a custom graphic, or maybe you just use sticky notes. Basically what you do is you have a table and then it's numbered 1 to 100. The number the person pulls off or selects on the graphic or with the sticky note is the number of dollars they donate to your trip. If they pull number 50, they donate $50 to your trip. If they pull number 47, they donate $47 to your trip. Things like that. And you're trying to encourage people to take all of the numbers. Idea number 26 is to have a walkathon. So get people to donate to your trip a certain amount per mile that you walk. You're gonna have to do a lot of asking here, but people might think it's a pretty cool idea. I would say shoot for walking like 3 to 6 hours. If you get more than that, probably gonna be a lot more difficult than you expected. Idea number 27 is to have a memory verse challenge. Get people to donate a certain amount to your trip based off of how many verses you memorize. You'll probably have to have like a few neutral people to be judges as well, but give it a certain amount of time, like, hey, I'm gonna try to memorize as many as I can in a month. Here's my goal, something like that, so people have an idea of how much money it would be. Idea number 28 is to just collect change. Chances are there's a lot of people with loose change in their car, in their house, something like that, and they may never use it. So if you can, maybe ask people to consider giving their change to you so that you can put it all together as money to help you go on your mission trip. Idea number 29 is to write letters. This one's a classic and super common. So write letters to people you know and have a relationship with, asking if they'd consider praying about donating to your trip. If you want more information on that, we actually created a video that's right up here. That's tips to help you enhance your fundraising letters. Okay, so I know that was a lot of ideas and maybe even too much to remember. So what we did is we created a free PDF for you to print out. That's a full list of all 29 mission trip fundraising ideas. Check the description below and you can download yours today. Also, check out our website for more articles on ways to fundraise for your mission trip. I hope these mission trip fundraising ideas were super helpful for you. If you like them, feel free to follow along because we'll release content every single week that's geared toward helping people fundraise for mission trips, for their missionary calling the Lord's put on their life, all types of things. Also, check out our course, Modern Fundraising for Missionaries, where we teach missionaries how to fundraise in this digital age. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.